Welcome to Talking Jets. My name's Ryan, and I'll be your pilot tonight. I am joined alongside my lovely co-pilot on this Monday night, Mr. Dom C. Dom, how you doing tonight?
Good, Ryan. Victory Monday, baby. Woo!
That's right.
I don't
Jets
know if
capture
that's,
win 27-20 against the vaunted Cleveland Browns.
Oh, man. That was listen, wins are wins, but that was an ugly one, right? That was an ugly one. So.
Dude, my buddy was coming back from a trip this weekend, and he's like, I didn't even get a chance to look at the stats. I just saw Jets won. You know, it's cool. Like, all about getting Jets win. I was like, dude, pull up the stats right now, because Justin Fields, if he didn't have a 42-yard reception that Breece Hall took from behind the line of scrimmage all the way in for a touchdown, he would have been 5 for 10 for like 12 yards. It was an embarrassing, boring game. We did get the kick return, 99-yard kick return for a touchdown, held them to a 3-and-out, and then got a 74-yard punt return. Rest in peace, Mr. Nick Mangold, number 74.
That's right.
On the day they honored him, so that was kind of cool. But back-to-back special teams touchdowns. If the Jets special teams can play like that throughout the entirety of the rest of this year, Jets might be onto something.
Yeah, listen, I understand that there's all three phases of the game have to be supported. But if we're going to depend on kick returns and punt returns to win games, we're in big trouble, Rye. Big trouble.
That was embarrassing is probably a nice way to put it. But I will say this. The Browns defense is pretty talented, and our O-line, our young tackles, held up pretty well against some of the best in the bunch. I think I have, let me see if I think I saved it here somewhere. I didn't save the tweet. I should have saved. Oh, no, there we go. Okay. So Myles Garrett finished with just 2 pressures, 1 sack, and a 58.2 Pro Football Focus pass rush grade in Week 10. It was his lowest pass rush grade of the season and his second lowest single game grade over the last 6 years. Garrett matched up with Olu Fashanu for 34 of his 42 defensive snaps and Armand Membu the other 8. The 2 young guns locking down one of the best in the business.
Yeah, I listen. I will fully admit I was on team Tyler Warren, number 1. But man, oh man, would it shock you if maybe 10 games is too premature, right? But would it shock you at next year if Olu gets talked about at the level of like a second year of Tristan Wirfs or Penny Sewell or something like that? Like
between
in
him
that
and
category.
The
or Membu, that's what I said.
Yeah,
that's what I said. Membu. I
knew what you meant.
Yeah,
dude, impressive. And for all the people that like wanted to see something different at the top of the draft, to feel pretty confident that you have your 2 tackles for the foreseeable future feels pretty nice. Now, the guys behind the tackles.
Wait, hang on one second. While you're talking about the tackles, because I think this has to do with the whole, team tight end versus team tackle 2 years ago when we took Olu over Bowers. That's like the Hatfields and the McCoys. Those are fighting lines that will never get, never kind of fully ever resolve. But the Bowers boys, if you will always say, oh look, maybe we have to have a real serious discussion about Olu. He's not that good. Look at all the pressures. Like, I push back on that. I don't know if people realize how difficult it is to play, to hold your block for as long as they do. The Jets have, the time to throw. Justin Fields has the longest time to throw, almost by a second in the entire league. They have let up the most pressures. They have let up a ton of sacks. A lot of that is self-induced by Justin Fields, by him scrambling and moving around and not pulling the trigger on those throws, so on and so forth. So, they get dinged. The offensive linemen get dinged on those, but that's just as much a quarterback problem as it is an offensive line problem.
100%. Blitz Crew drops in saying Membu dancing deserves to be in the intro. I completely agree, Blitz
fair.
Crew. We're going to have to edit it in.
That's a fair point.
It's so funny. I'm sitting there with my wife, and I'm like, okay, Like, the Jets have left way too much time on the clock going into this drive. I was like, we're going to wind up doing something. It's going to go sideways. Then you get the spear right through the front of the Jets offensive line on the handoff, Fields to Brees. I was like, oh my God, they're going to drop the ball. Yeah. I was like, this is going the other way. They're about to win this freaking game.
And that was like Schlesinger, the middle linebacker. He did that like 3 times.
Crazy. Just
like 3 times. He was in the backfield. He almost took the handoff from the guy.
Insane.
Yeah.
I thought that was for sure going to go the other way. But anyway, we're like, okay, you know what? Now we're in, what is it, 2nd and 25, 3rd and 25, whatever the down and distance was. Then Justin Fields rolls out to his right. He's just trying to keep the clock rolling. He kind of slides near the line of scrimmage. And a nice little 5-yard holding penalty wipes out what would have been like a 3rd and 25 or whatever it was. And the Jets get a first down. And then we get to the very end. The Browns hold us again. And we get to the 3rd and 4 or 4th and 4. Everyone in the building knows the Jets are not calling a play. We're going to take this down to the end and call timeout. Yep. And they do a hard count. And they jump off sides. I'm telling my wife, I was like, the Browns just did a Jets thing. Like, this is how the Jets normally lose games. Like, how did this just go on? Like, and Dillon Gabriel for the Browns, he's cheeks. Like, for as bad as Fields was, dude, Dillon Gabriel is hot trash. An absolutely awful offensive performance from both sides of this game. This was not fun for anyone to watch.
My rule of thumb is, you can only make comments about quarterbacks that fall a rung below the quarterback for your team. Mm-hmm. Justin Fields is down there pretty low, but we're allowed to tell Dillon Gabriel he is hot garbage.
Dude, that was just ugly. So
you tell me with everything that's right in Ryan Delaney, how the hell that he is still starting games and Shedeur Sanders hasn't even gotten a shot yet?
It makes no sense. It's almost like they were forced into taking Shedeur Sanders, and like Stefanski's just going to die on this bridge or die on this hill of like, I'm not playing him. Like, regardless of how trash Gabriel is, like, I'm shocked Sanders didn't come in at halftime. I thought for sure we were going to see like Sanders versus Tyrod at halftime. That's just how piss poor this game was.
Yeah, I don't get it. I do not get it, man.
Makes no sense. Jets were able to get out of the game without major injury. But Garrett Wilson does miss the next 3 to 4 weeks. So I put a poll question in the chat. What do you want the Jets to do with him? Garrett Wilson should A, get shut down for the season, B, return when healthy. I know where I stand on this. I want to hear from you, Dom. What do you think the Jets should do with one Garrett Wilson?
In all honesty, I'm probably just putting him in bubble wrap and saying, hey, go on IR, take it easy. We're gonna have you a nice new weapon to run alongside you next year. We're gonna have a nice new weapon to throw you the ball next year. It's gonna be different. Just trust us. Don't go to the media. Don't get butt hurt. Just rest, relax, get healthy. We'll see you. We'll see you come whatever April or May for the tryouts, or not tryouts, but camp.
Some hospital balls he was given yesterday. Just don't want to see our guy get hurt. Him and Brees. And Brees looks like a stud. Like, everyone in the world knew Brees was getting the ball at different times in that game. And Brees winds up with, 120 total yards and a touchdown? Like, you cannot let him leave. I was saying after, like, for my post-game stream, I was like, you know what's going to happen? The Jets, if for some reason we don't win another game, and we win because Brees Hall just kind of went off and was able to help us win this game, will the missing of the first-round pick... Sorry, let me preface this one more time. I want Brees back. I want him on a franchise tag. I want him on a contract, whatever it is. But if the Jets were to let him walk, and he's the reason we don't get the number 1 overall pick, I'm going to be flipping tables. We're so pissed that this is what happened. I'm hoping that, Brees is happy. We see him driving around the go-kart, in the locker room. Like, let's get some good vibes. I'm okay. The win doesn't even necessarily bother me. It was just a really ugly game to watch.
Yeah, it was. It was awful to watch. It was not fun. I was not there. I had other things going on. I had my kid at a soccer game. I was on call for work, so I had to be around my house and around the computer, just in case. And yeah, I'm glad that I didn't make that trek to East Rutherford for that game. Actually, I let me take that back. I kind of wish I was there because Nick Mangold was my favorite New York, one of my favorite New York Jets growing up. I mean, that's the era that I kind of really, really fell in love. No, that was the first. I shouldn't say the first one, but he was one of the guys that really, really I absolutely adored from the moment he started playing until he retired. So I would have liked to be there for that, but the football game itself, nah.
Jake's in the chat. What's up, Jake? Jake
Hey,
says
Jake.
it's almost Dom C season, folks. Get ready for it. You're damn right. It's Dom C season all season long.
I got as a matter of fact, Ryan, you reminded me. I have the very rough early draft guide set to go. So I'll give you the right so you can start to read. It's maybe like 60% of the way there. We got some time.
All right. I'll take 60% of the time, all the time. 100%. Start getting some Dom C scouting reports. This is great because now I know which games to watch for college. I've already been trying to keep an eye on like the top quarterback names and everything, which I guess is a pretty good segue. We could hop over to the tankathon board. I know some Jet fans were a little upset because of the shifting in draft rankings and whatnot. Jets now currently sitting in the 5 slot. But Dom, you and I were talking before the stream. I think both of us did not anticipate the Jets being the number 1 worst team in the league. So what are your thoughts on where the Jets sit currently?
Now, my thoughts on where they sit currently it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where they sit after week 10, right? It matters where they sit after week 17. So, there's a lot of people that, and I understand the tankies of the world. Like I get it. Like, this team's not going to go anywhere without a quarterback. And the best way to get a quarterback is to get the highest possible draft pick that you can, so that you can take your bites of the apple, if you will. So I totally understand that. I don't know if I've got it in me to go in full tank mode yet. I'm not, I'm pretty damn close. Like, I'm not upset when they win. I don't get upset when they win. Like, if yesterday's game was week 17 and we went from 3 to 5, I might be a little pissed off. Not pissed off, annoyed.
Yeah, but irritated. Because
I digress.
I think the irritating thing for me is like, and I think you were the one that brought it up in the chat. It seems like Moore and Mateer and Sellers all may wind up going back to school, which winds up kind of making this draft class really not as appealing as it was prior. Now you still got Mendoza at the top. You still got Simpson feasibly coming out. Simpson doesn't have a lot of starts under his belt.
So I'll give you now. Again, this isn't finalized, but as it stands right now, of my top 10, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 can go back to school.
Now those 6, I'm assuming
7. I'm sorry, 7 can go back to school.
I'm going to assume, based on this list here, Moore, Simpson, Sellers, Mateer, Klubnik.
Mateer's not in the top 10.
Ooh, interesting. He's definitely fallen off a bit.
yeah, but he's definitely gonna go back. I like Darian Mensah from Duke a lot. He's more than likely gonna go back. Mendoza and Simpson have eligibility, although I think that they'll come out. Then Dante Moore, like I said, he's gonna go back more than likely. Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati, he's gonna go back more than likely. Like all these guys, Lenora Sellers, he's going to go back more than likely. You're looking at, probably Mendoza, Simpson, and Garrett Nussmeier as the top 3 draftable quarterbacks. Oh, I shouldn't say that. There's other guys in there, like, Cole Payton from North Dakota State University is getting a lot of love. And Ryan, I don't know if you've seen him play yet, but I suggest it. It's really, really fun, interesting prospect. It's a lefty, so you know that's a little fucking ding in my book. Like those
It's all right. We got a strong right tackle now. I got no issues with the lefty.
weirdo lefties are always bug me when they throw the football. But he's a big kid. He can run. He's got a cannon, and he can run. Like when you talk about like true dual threat, like the closest thing to and again, this is not a comp, but you know, when you look at the way Josh Allen plays the game with that big arm and that big ability to use his legs and run people over, that's Cole Payton.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I have not watched him at all yet. I'm totally down to watch a little bit. In your rough estimation, you think there's a projection as far as where you would expect him to go in the draft, like second, third round, or is he like just a late round?
North Dakota State guy, you know, it's not an FCS school. Will that ding him? It didn't hurt Trey Lance, right? Trey Lance went to the same school.
Yeah, I mean, it also could be like, you know, Trey Lance hasn't really done anything in the NFL, so maybe there's that little bit of look like, hey, maybe it wasn't just the COVID season; it could just be the school.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you, Ryan. It's way too early to figure that out. I want to see, him play some of this bigger competition. Like I think the bowl game, like the All-Star circuit, whether it's Senior Bowl, East-West Shrine, I think that's going to be huge for him. I think the Combine is going to be huge for him. But he's a guy that could clearly sneak up.
I think
will he sneak up? Excuse me. Will he sneak up into round one? I don't know. But
when I look at the top part of this draft and I look at the teams, I don't get the feeling that I really want to move up and get the quarterback. It is nice knowing you have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years to be able to do that. But you had mentioned earlier where you have a pretty you feel like you might have, I don't know if we were live when you said this or not, but the Jets may still have an opportunity to get a quarterback as long as we're sitting in the top 5. Like one of these guys could fall to us. Other guys, you know, you see the Titans are not going to be taking a quarterback. They could trade out for a team that wants one, but are the Saints going to trade up? Are the Jets going to trade up? Are the Browns going to make a move up? Browns just took 2 quarterbacks this year. Is that something they want to kind of punt on for a season? Do the Raiders try to make a move up? I like the idea of kind of sitting pat wherever we are. I don't love the idea of giving up, you know, potentially 3 first-rounders. Like next year to me is the year that I would have a little bit more of like a gung-ho-ness to like, all right, let's go make some moves, especially if all the guys you're talking about are going back to school. Because then you start talking about like a really deep potential quarterback class. My big thing with like guys wanting to go back to school is like how many guys that might be considered first round picks. Like to me, Dante Moore going back makes no damn sense because of what happened to Drew Allar. God forbid you get an injury and you cost yourself millions and millions of dollars. Like that just doesn't like pass the sniff test.
Yeah, well, that one I think is the one that you can write in ink.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's the one I think you can write in ink. Of all of them, and I'll tell you more off film about that one. But I think there's some smoke around that one, and where there's smoke, there's usually fire. So I would almost assume he's going back. The biggest one, obviously, is going to be Ty Simpson, right? Because that's where I see that Drew Allar kind of comparison, not in the player, but in the situation, right? It might not get any better or any higher for Ty Simpson right now. And he's risking a lot. But, you know, he's going to come out of this draft. He's going to come out of the season with 13 starts under his belt. You know, and, you know, the reality is that the history, if history shows, they are, you know, those guys have a tough time in transition. Now, could he buck the trend? Absolutely he could. You know, do I think he's can't miss enough that he's absolutely going to buck the trend? No, you know, and that takes me back to what I was saying earlier. Like, I think I think there's a fair shot that if you're in the 5 to 7 range, where I think the Jets will probably end up, that you're still in range for one of these quarterbacks. You know, I don't think, you know, as we talk about, you know, as casuals and people in the chat and and every Jet fan that, you know, that's talking about the quarterbacks, you know, more or less everyone's talking about it now, saying, "Oh man, I don't know if I want to give up any capital and trade up for these guys. Like they're not like locks." Well, guess what? If we're saying that, what do you think the front offices in the league are saying, right? Now, I'm not saying it's as bad as when it happened, but do you remember the Will McDonald year was that 2022?
Mm-hmm.
First quarterback taken. You know who it was?
It was. Give me a second. Was that the Bryce Young trade up? Was that year?
No. Maybe I'm wrong. What it was the Kenny Pickett year, wasn't it?
No, Kenny Pickett was 2020, I think.
Okay, then I went the wrong way. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what that was. Pickett, dude, that was a terrible year. First quarterback didn't go till like, what was it, pick 20, I think?
Yeah. And listen, these quarterbacks are better than Kenny Pickett,
Mhm.
but there will be a point in time where teams won't trade up, even if it's a quarterback.
Mhm.
Right? So I think that there's a fair shot, if depending on Tennessee's not taking a quarterback. They took theirs last year. The Giants aren't taking a quarterback. Wild Wave, Kenny Pickett was 2022. I was right.
Oh, okay. I was wrong.
Kenny, the Giants aren't taking a quarterback. Those teams still could. Tennessee's probably going to be the number one pick. The Giants could easily win a game or two more. Like teams are going to fall off. Teams are going to fall into wins. I don't think that we're going to end up with 2 wins either. I think we'll probably end up with 4 or 5. And that'll probably put us in that 6 to 7, 5 to 6 to 7 range when it's all said and done. And there's going to be some teams in front of us that don't need quarterbacks, and there might be some teams that do, but might not like the prospect enough to take them. Cleveland might say, we have 2 picks. I think it's more important for me to get the lineman now or the weapon now, and I'll get the quarterback later, or something like that.
Kind of like the Giants approach. Giants took Carter at the top of the draft, came back up and got
and then
Dart.
traded up. Yeah.
I don't hate that
absolutely.
move. I really don't.
I don't hate the move. Listen, I like both. I like Mendoza and Simpson a whole bunch. I think both of them, for me, they both clear Shedeur Sanders, who was my number 1 last year. They both clear Cam Ward, who was my number 2 last year. So I think we're already cooking with a little gas. I think both of those guys can come in and compete relatively early, which is also another good sign. So push comes to shove, I think if one of those guys are on the board when we're picking at 5, I think they're going to be the call.
Yeah, I agree. I think those are the 2 guys that we're kind of looking at. Now, if both guys are off the board or the Jets decide to not go quarterback at the top, is there a player that's like kind of sitting at the top of this tankathon board here that kind of piques your interest? I had someone tell me about Arvell Reese. I have not watched much of him.
Yeah, Arvell Reese is hands down for me the best player in the class, the 1-1 of this class, the primo. He's the S tier of this class. He is just so good, Ryan. There's not a lot that he can't do. And he comes, 6'4", 245 pounds, kind of that Micah Parsons-esque, like plays a little off-ball linebacker, does his damage blitzing, can line up as a stand-up edge pass rusher, athletic as hell, strong as an ox, kind of a jack of all trades. I think he'll find his niche just like Micah Parsons. And I know it's a lazy comparison. Sorry, guys. But that's the case. Is like that's probably the best scenario, best example you can give of what Arvell Reese does, man. He's just a long, lean, muscle hamster dude who's just strong, physical, and as athletic as they come. He will run through you. Like for me, if I'm Tennessee and I'm picking number 1, there is no question. I'm not even thinking about trading out. I think Arvell Reese is at such a higher level than any other prospect in this class.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there and taking him.
So if the quarterback's not there, you would endorse making that pick?
Oh my God. Yeah. He's not Arvell Reese is not reaching 5, unless unless we start the smear campaign now,
Oh yeah. Heard he.
Did you hear
kittens.
he beats up grandmothers? Did you hear that? Right? I did.
Yeah, I heard that. And he smokes the devil's lettuce. And Arvell Reese.
Rico in the chat. Can we you can't put up chats in the thing, can you?
I can.
Which
one you want up?
Yeah, the one right here, the last one, the Jalen Walker. Yeah.
If Jalen Walker went like 11th overall, this kid is a top 5 lock. He can rush just as well, but he can actually play off-ball linebacker too. Jets need to revamp their linebacker room. Man, that would be a hell of a selection if like the quarterbacks aren't there for them.
And I think that you're gonna see, because they did. And again, I'm only piecing off of what they did in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they drafted the big kid.
Hutch?
Oh my God, why can't? No, not Hutchinson. Who's the linebacker they drafted number 18 overall the same year in 2022?
Yes. Yep.
I can't think of his name.
God damn it. The blonde-haired kid. What the fuck's his name?
Anyhow, bigger bodied, stronger, more physically imposing type linebacker. Jack Campbell, thank you. Jack Campbell. I think you're gonna start seeing some of those bigger linebackers coming into play, because what have we have? The NFL is cyclical, man, right? The NFL is very cyclical. And what has been more prominent over last year and especially this year, man, is teams are starting to run the ball more effectively. You're seeing more 12 and 13 personnel. And as the defenses got smaller and nickel based, the offenses are counterpunching by going to the running game. So I think you're going to start seeing some of these physical, bigger, more physical linebackers come into play. And Arvell Reese fits that mold. He can play linebacker. He can rush off. He can blitz as a linebacker. He can rush off the edge if you need him to. Jalen Walker, like what, I think that he's Jalen Walker in a man's body, do a little bit of everything. So yes. So if Arvell Reese is there, like he's one of one in this class. He's the go to this class without a doubt. I know a lot of people like the edge rusher Ruben Bain from Miami as well. I happen to not be as high as some on him. Not to say that he's bad, but I'm not sure exactly how well his skill set, although it's good, is going to translate as an edge rusher that I want to take in the top 5 at the next level. Like, to me, he's more kind of like that, I don't know, Cam Jordan kind of 3-4 edge rusher, that's a bigger body, strong
like
guy.
Space eater kind of like
can really get you, can really help solidify your run game, and will fall into some power rushes, but not athletic enough. So to me, I don't think that he's the guy that I would target, but he's another guy up there. The Jets, if Arvell Reese is off the board, to me, I'm pivoting to one of the wide receivers, whether it's Carnell Tate or the kid from Arizona. Yeah, Jordan Tyson from Arizona State. That's what I'm doing. And I think
loading up on offense is the way to go. If Reese,
it's just to me, it's not a very top heavy class. You got the 2 wide receivers that I think are worthy of a top 10 pick. You have those 2 defenders that we talked about that are worthy of a top 10 pick. You have the 2 quarterbacks that are worthy of a top 10 pick. You have maybe a safety, in Caleb Downs that's worthy of a top 10 pick, and then the rest of it's question marks, man. I'm not a big fan of the linemen in this class at all. I don't think there's a top 10 talent. No one. I know that a tackle will go. There's no one that I would like that I would then. Yeah, Peter Woods. Thank you. Peter Woods is worthy of that discussion as a top 10 pick. And right there's 8 guys. So if the quarterback doesn't fall, the Jets are fine. The Jets are going to be okay.
A lot of opportunities. Now, we got a little bit of time before we lose you at 9 o'clock. I want to talk a little bit about some of the quarterbacks that could potentially be moved via trade. We've heard some rumors and rumblings that the Jets may be making a move outside of the draft for a quarterback if they weren't to go, maybe the 2027 route. I'm going to rattle off a few names. Just want to get your thoughts. The one I feel like people always somehow find a way to come back to, and it would kind of blow my mind if it happened, but Joe Burrow from the Bengals. What are the chances you think he gets moved, and would you make the move for whatever, what do you deem that trade worthy of? 3 firsts? Is that like that kind of a deal?
2 parts of that. I would give Joe Burrow whatever he wanted. If it cost 3 firsts, 4 firsts, I absolutely would do it. Give Cincinnati whatever they wanted. The problem is 0.0% chance of it happening. Joe Burrow has a full no trade clause. He can choose. He chooses where he wants to go. You can't sell me. I don't care. The biggest Jet fan in the world is not going to be able to. We're not going to be able to sell them the fact that Joe Burrow will choose to go to the Jets right now in this situation. So I think that one is just
off the table.
Correct.
How about Kyler Murray? I've heard that name thrown out there.
I think the chances of that happening is a lot higher than Joe Burrow because there's no trade clause. But I wouldn't. For me, I would stay. I mean, the contract's a disgrace. The player's not that good. He's not a leader. Well, you still can't tell me any one thing that Kyler Murray does spectacular, right? He doesn't push the ball vertically with authority. He does throw a nice deep ball. He scrambles enough to be effective, but he's not a true dual threat guy. I'm good on Kyler Murray.
Now,
or as Jeremy says, Kyle Murray.
Now, let's say there was a situation where it was almost like the Goff trade, where to like eat some of the contract, you get additional picks. Like, is that something that would be appealing to you to hold on to Murray, or you just don't even want to really, fool around with it? Because the Goff trade was super funky. It was what, Goff and 2 firsts for Stafford?
I don't know. I don't remember what the Goff trade was, to be honest with you.
I feel like that's right. It was like Goff had a massive contract, so they gave up the 2 firsts for Stafford, but it was also eating the contract. I think if memory serves correct, and chat, you can let me know if I'm off on this.
Well, I'm going to look at what Kyler Murray. I don't want anything to do with Kyler Murray. Let's get that on record. But I want to look at what his contract is anyway.
Yeah, the interesting thing would be if we could get picks in conjunction with him. That's the only way I'd even like remotely consider it. But I feel like that just pushes the envelope too far down the line, and you wind up passing on other opportunities. So I'm with you. I don't want Murray. Blitzcrew says, guessing Dom hasn't seen Murray play Call of Duty. Yeah, could be one of one.
Yeah, that's right. He is the man there. Yeah, Kyler Murray's contract, you would be trading for it. In essence, it would be a 2-year deal. You're looking at roster bonuses combined in the 2 years of roughly about $31 million. 2 option bonuses that would be responsible by the acquiring team. That's another $15 million. And base salaries of 22 and 19. So that's like another $41 million. So you're talking 2 years, 40, 30, and 15, $85 million. 2 years, $45 million, roughly roundabout.
Woof.
Yeah, I'm not messing around with that.
So let's throw Kyler Murray out of this discussion. What if one of the 49ers quarterbacks shakes free, whether it be Mac Jones or Purdy?
Now we're talking a little bit. Like, I'd be okay. I honestly would be okay with, parting with a mid-round pick of some sort, or a combination of mid-round picks or players to acquire the last year of Mac Jones' contract as that bridge. If but with that being said, like, I want to draft a rookie quarterback. I know Mac Jones in the future, but I have much more faith right now in Mac Jones as a 1-year bridge, leading me into my rookie quarterback than I do Justin Fields. I think Mac Jones can throw the ball more than 54 yards in a game. He can throw the ball more than 54 yards in the air, probably.
I really don't like Mac Jones. Just kicking.
Me neither, man.
But I understand your thought process. Like, I don't want to see Justin Fields on the field again. Like, I was expecting entertaining football. This is nothing like it. I am not getting anything near entertaining football right now. Yeah,
Brock Purdy, for San Francisco to deal this contract, it would be impossible. Right now, it would be impossible for them to deal this contract, man.
So Brock Purdy.
Oh, he's got a no trade clause anyway.
Ah, okay.
He's got a full no trade clause. He ain't going nowhere.
So remainder of 2020.
If you look at Sport Track, Rye.
Yeah.
It shows you all the contract notes and obviously, and the financials of it, but it clearly says here he's got a full no trade clause.
I would say he's not coming here either. I'm surprised Spot Track or Over the Cap doesn't list like the no trade clause stuff. I don't think I've seen it in here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think we could throw Purdy off that as well. What about, I saw someone mention in the chat, Trevor Lawrence. Let's say he becomes available.
I don't think Trevor Lawrence is very good either, but at least if nothing more, I think his contract's a little bit more easy to swallow. But never mind, because he also has a full no trade clause. He's not going nowhere.
Damn. Yeah, man, we are just getting screwed left, right, and sideways. All right. What about a little outside the box?
Okay.
There's been some discussion in the group chat about it. A quarterback that might have some ties to a wide receiver that's on our team. What do you think the likelihood that maybe the Texans would be willing to part with CJ Stroud?
Yes, I would do that.
What do you think it would cost to get him?
Multiple ones.
Would have to be, I would think.
Either
so Stroud is going to be, I'm assuming
he's
they
up for a
exercised his
contract.
5th-year option this past year, or does that happen this offseason?
Let's see. Hang on.
So his contract's only 4 years right now. So I'm assuming they might have to decide on it now, going into year 4 to have year 5. That's how it works. So right now, I mean, God, that would be really nice. That would be sick.
Yep. You're going to have to pay him, though.
Yeah. We did just clear a whole bunch of space.
You sure did. So would I give up both of my ones in this draft class? I would. Would I give up more than that?
Sorry, say that again?
I would give up both of my ones in this draft class.
That would be an interesting move. If you could get CJ Stroud,
I think it would. I don't think that would do it. I don't think that would do it. I think you would have to give up more. I think that the starting point is 2 ones.
Yeah, I wonder if it would matter if like whoever was on the clock, like let's say the Jets are on the clock, and now all of a sudden the Texans have an opportunity at Ty Simpson, and the Jets are like, "Hey, we want Stroud. We'll give you both ones for Stroud. You get your quarterback in Ty Simpson." Because I don't think it would be so hard to convince the Texans to move someone like Stroud without having something like in place as the next quarterback. Like, what do you make of him? Would you call it falling off the last 2 years? Like, really hasn't been the same since his rookie year.
Yeah. So I think there's a few aspects to it, and I don't know if the Jets would be the perfect fix for it either. But what's he in his 3rd year, 4th year?
Yep. 3rd year.
Third offensive coordinator, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a GM, a defensive-minded head coach, and a GM who has not, for whatever reason, either invested the capital necessary or hit on the draft picks to solidify that offensive line. I mean, the running joke for a while now has been how bad the Houston Texans offensive line is, right?
They trade away Tunsil.
They trade away Tunsil. I think that was addition by subtraction, but I digress. There is, outside of, this year especially, the running game has been non-existent, right? Mixon's hurt. Chubb's a shell of himself. They got Woody Marks, the 4th round selection from USC, who's been nice, but he's just a guy. Outside of Nico Collins, what do you really have? They drafted 2 wide receivers early, and neither of them have really made an impact. The tight end's hurt, so there's a lot on CJ Stroud's shoulders. I think that you need to get him into a place that's more stable. With a coach that can kind of help, or a coordinator that can kind of play to his strengths, and I think Engstrand can do that. The question is I don't know how stable the Jets coaching staff is right now, because we know that they're coming back next year.
Mm.
But if they start out 2-10 again, like, how quick are the Boo Birds going to be asking for Aaron Glenn's head on a platter?
I would say it's going to be pretty quick. Pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what the Jets do. I don't think any of us really want to see Justin Fields come back here next year and be like this guy's starting without any kind of hope of having a rookie or another quarterback in the mix. I'm open to the idea of waiting till 2027 to draft a quarterback. I feel like I would still want some type of bridge quarterback.
You can't go in. You just can't do it with Justin Fields next year.
I would say Fields and Tyrod. I don't want either one of them. Tyrod's made of glass.
Tyrod's contract's done.
Yeah,
so
no, I know
gone.
that, but I'm just saying I would not try to bring him back as a bridge.
Okay, so let me ask you. You asked me a couple names. Let me throw a couple at you.
Sure.
All right. Miami kind of resets. Tua Tagovailoa. No. Like a hard no.
Hard no.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Probably not going to happen, but I'll ask it anyway. Dak Prescott.
I would. I like Dak.
At 32 years old?
Depends
that
what
scary?
It costs. Yeah, depends what it costs to get him. But yeah, I would be down.
Well, it's going to cost you $74 million. No, it won't, because the signing bonus is prorated. The signing bonus is prorated. Yeah.
Dak's contract would be $40 million cap hit, $45 million cap hit, $55 million cap hit if traded.
Yeah, but again, another no trade clause. Full no trade clause.
There you go.
Full no trade, no tag clause. So that one's done. Yeah, I mean, that's all the quarterbacks that I could think of. I mean, Tua's a hard no.
Yeah, I don't really want to deal with Tua. Like, I would take.
I don't either. I would take Mac Jones in that scenario before I would take Tua Tagovailoa.
So would I, 100%. I would say that of like the guys that I would, if Kirk Cousins shakes free, like if he's just like a free agent, you don't have to trade for him or anything, I would be open to being like, okay, you're going to be the starter. Our plan is going to be to draft a quarterback in the next 2 years. You're going to do as much as you can. This is probably your last lifeline. I don't know where else he's really going to go. That's a name that I would sniff around. And then outside of that, man, I don't even know who I'd want as a bridge anymore. It's hard.
Yeah, it's crazy. But you know what? The problem is, Ryan, forget about Fields' inability to or unwillingness to throw the ball.
Mm.
But he's not running it either.
Yeah.
Like the whole dual threat modality of Justin Fields is not there. I don't know if it's from the concussion.
Mm-hmm.
They queued up a couple of designed runs, like a couple read options and one quarterback like sweep earlier or quarterback draw.
Mm.
But man, that's it. Like that's not even like a risk anymore.
You know who I kind of was hoping, and it would have been a long shot, was the Jets like making some sort of wacky trade of like, we're gonna give you Justin Fields for Tanner McKee. Like from the Eagles, like just give me give me 2 years of Tanner McKee as like on the rest of his rookie contract. I don't know what he could be, but at least it would be interesting. Like Joe Milton, I saw his name pop up in the chat. Like that would be interesting. I see Rap Reality says take Jameis Winston. Winston's under a 2-year contract with the Giants. He's not going anywhere. I really don't want to deal with Russell Wilson. Like that's not interesting to me.
No, I think Russell Wilson's career is done. I think this is the last hurrah for him.
Mm.
And Jameis Winston doesn't fit the offense.
Mm. No, thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you. You're right.
All right, Dom. Well, we've hit this 9 o'clock hour. So any last words you want to say to the chat out there?
No, man. Hang out and call in and click on the little chat thing and talk to Ryan. Catch me and Green Bean and Gunny, the old Thursday Thick of It crew, back together this Thursday for the the watch along Jets Patriots game on greenbeanjetsfan.com.
Hell yeah. I'll try to tune in with you guys for halftime. But Dom, as always, thank you very much for coming in. And you
I'm out of here.
From the cockpit. Dom C, the one, the only. Always good to have him in here. Let's see, boys and girls. Let's do, we're going to do some call-in action as well. I'm going to talk to the chat, but I will, let me put the link to call in here. I want to get your thoughts on what the Jets should do, what you'd like to see the Jets do, whether it be in the draft. What's our solution at quarterback? What are you looking for the rest of the season? All that good stuff. Sorry, just clicking through things over here. All right. So link is in the live chat. I see LaSalle and Rich calling in. Give me 1 second, boys. I do want to thank the sponsor of the channel real quick. That would be Sleeper. Get a $100 deposit match up to $100. Use code JETSTALK down below in the description. You think you know football? Then try your turn. You think you know football? Then try to turn your football knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app, the ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn game day into payday. Just download the Sleeper app and pick more or less on your favorite players with more stats than any other fantasy app. Just choose 2 or more of your favorite players from pregame or live. Pick more or less from the predicted stats, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money if your picks win. Use promo code JETSTALK, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Thank you so much for sponsoring the channel, Sleeper, as always. All right, let's go over to, where's my button? Let's see if I can do this here. Does this pop up? There we go. Okay, let's go over to LaSalle. What's good, dude?
Doing good. Glad both my teams won today. So
there you go.
So good feeling to have.
What'd you think of this last game? Where do you stand on our Jets right now? What do you want to see the rest of the season?
Like, I love that we won the game, first and foremost. I like that the special teams did a lot of good things, and the defense shut down the most part the one game.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback is definitely the main issue that I have.
Yep.
And Brees is a beast. I hope we sign him. But that's gonna be for the next year or so.
So I want to hear you.
I will say about the.
Oh, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, who do you want to see a quarterback for next year? Are you like team draft pick? Are you trade for a guy? Is there a free agent out there? What's the game plan?
I said it to Richie once. The only quarterback that I would trade a first round for is probably Joe Burrow. Because Dak Prescott, like, I do like him. I loved him since he first started in Dallas. But now he's 32 years old, and he is injury prone. And the way that he plays, with the fact that he is like getting older, is not the best thing. I would give up a second for him, but not a first. I don't think you could build a complete future around him. To have him be here while we drafted a quarterback and the quarterback could just stay while Dak Prescott is running the offense. That I will definitely do. I would definitely do that. But to do like the golf route where you gotta just have him be our quarterback for the next like five years. That just doesn't seem likely. You know. And then I watched the college football on Saturday. I will say Ty Simpson definitely impressed me, especially when I was hearing what the announcers were saying. The fact that he was doing everything pre-snap, and all that. Like, I understand it's college football offense and it's probably dumbed down, but the fact that he's been there only for a year and he's already doing everything pre-snap, that shows a lot of confidence in him, and also shows confidence that he has in himself. And Mendoza is a great quarterback, but he doesn't seem to have a lot of pocket presence. He was taking a lot of hits when he was facing the I forgot who they faced. I forgot who they faced, but he was taking a lot of hits in the pocket. I don't know how that is sustainable throughout a season.
Mazal, thank you so much for the call. You've been ejected from the cockpit. Boom. So you're out of here. I got Rich Rise as a guest. Let me just see. I'm clicking buttons over here, and I don't know what I'm doing. Hitting things. All right. Before I get over to Rich, I just want to say thank you to NYJ for the super chat. Says, I'm glad we made these big trades. Feels like we're ready, already in a better spot. I would like to draft wide receiver Tate. Let's see. Look at the wide receivers. I'm still, I've been so focused on like quarterback at the top of the draft. I'll be honest, I have not looked much at the other receivers. So Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State, 6'3", currently has 711 yards on 39 receptions with 7 touchdowns. The the Ohio State wide receivers are sick. Absolutely awesome. Jets are going to come away with someone good with their second first-round pick if they don't pull the trigger on receiver at the top of the draft. Quarterback feels like the direction they're going to go. I think if Mendoza's there, I think he's probably the selection based on the amount of the amount of games that this regime has been at for Mendoza. But we'll see. Who knows? I'll have to keep an eye out on him. Let's go over to Rich. How you doing, Rich?
I'm doing good, Ryan. JTS, baby! JTS!
We got 2 weeks in a row, 3 weeks of no losing. Got a bye week sandwiched in there. Not a loss. Thoughts?
Yeah, so I am team, I want the quarterback. I love Mendoza. I think he looks really good. I hear people say this class isn't as good. That worries me. But when I watch Mendoza play, he looks like he throws a really accurate ball. He looks like he throws with really good touch. And I think that in the past, we have not been able to develop a quarterback. We have never had a good offensive line, and as long as I can remember being a fan, where a rookie quarterback came into an actual good protective line with a legit number 1 receiver. We still need the number 2 receiver, but I really think Adonai Mitchell is like, he's built like a prototypical X. Does that translate to being a number 1 or a number 2 receiver? I can't tell you that. I'm speculating, but he's built like an X. We have Garrett already, and then we have a really good line. So whoever the quarterback is, this is going to be different. They're really coming into a place where they can succeed if the coaching is there. I've loved the coaching. I know the team struggled, but you know what? It takes a long time to learn how to win and to turn a losing culture, 15 years of losing around. In New York, it's brutal. So you have to expect that the guy's going to struggle. That doesn't mean Aaron Glenn is the coach, but it means that the right coach. But it means you have to bear with these guys and give them time to develop. And there's one more thing I want to say, and then take the mic on. But two more things. That's cool.
That's all right. You got a minute, 18 seconds.
So the one thing I feel very strongly about, I'm a big Jake Asman fan, and I'm a big fan of a lot of Jets media guys, but a lot of the media and the fan base was turning on Glenn so intensely, so quickly because of the losing history, not because of Glenn. And the thing is, how long have you been married, Ryan?
I've been married since 2021. I've been with my wife since high school. I know a lot
since high school. There you go.
Oh, yeah. We've been together. We were just trying to count this. I think we're at 17 years.
Congratulations. That's freaking awesome. When you go into a relationship, you do not bring your baggage from your last relationship into your new relationship. That's how you fail any relationship. If you were cheated on with your ex-girlfriend and you start seeing a new girl and you bring your baggage with you and say, hey, I don't want you talking to any guys because you were cheating on me, you're set for failure. You're setting yourself up for failure. Same thing with coaches. And then we have the capital to make a trade up this year or next year. It would be great if we could keep the picks and surround the player, but I'm a big Mendoza guy. That's what I want to say. Take the mic, brother.
So what would you be willing? What's your level of trade upness? How many picks would you be willing to go up to? Let's say Titans are willing to move out of 1. What are you willing to do to get it?
So I really like Mendoza. I think he's worth a trade up, but I'm not a scout. I don't know how to evaluate that. I don't get to interview him, so I can't evaluate the intangibles the way these guys do. I really think Muji's been doing a good job. What I would feel comfortable with, I would give up a first. I would give up a second, maybe even a first and a second. But
Maybe both
I'll
ones
trust
from
Mookie.
this
I'll
year and a
trust
2
Mookie. What
next
about
year.
you?
Is that like what gets it done? I don't know if that's enough.
It depends how far back we are. If we're far back, I'm fine with that. If we're at 3 or 4 or 5, that's kind of steep. But you know what? If they believe in the quarterback, I'm for it. JETS.
Boom! You've been ejected from the cockpit. Rich, thank you so much for the call. Always a pleasure to have you on, dude. Let's go over to my other screen. Boom. Comments in the live chat if you would like to join the show. Let's go through here. Rap to Reality says Joe Milton would be an interesting quarterback to bring in. I'd be down. I like Joe Milton. Joe Milton and Tanner McKee were the other 2 quarterbacks in the Jordan Travis draft that I was interested in. Didn't pan out for us, but I like that. Cousins with Mendoza sitting behind him sounds great. That's actually my ideal situation. If the Jets find a way to get the first pick or to get Mendoza, obviously you'd need to probably sign Cousins before that. But I'm cool with Cousins being the stopgap quarterback for a year or 2. Like, in a great situation, you wind up with someone like, let's say, the older version of Sam Darnold, where Sam goes to another team just trying to see if he can get some playing time, see if he can maybe parlay that into a starting role somewhere else. And then all of a sudden, you got a guy for like 2 years. You got to let the rookie sit. I'm on board with that. Tom R says, let Brady Cook sling it. I mean, at this point, I don't think he's very good, but like, I would much rather watch that than what we just saw from Fields. It's been friggin' terrible. Let's see. Garrett would have the most receiving yards of his career with Winston back there. Oh, yeah. If we get Winston, heck yeah, that would be fun. I just don't think he's going to come over here because the Giants got him. We're not trading with the Giants. Mac Jones is a solid 3rd choice, and Joe Milton is a solid 4th choice, says Peter. Let's see, did Peter have another comment up there? I don't know if Peter had another one with his 1st and 2nd choices. Mac Jones plus Garrett Wilson plus Brees. I know a lot of people like Mac Jones. He seems like kind of a douche. I don't really want to have our quarterback be a super douche. I want him to be like kind of likable. If we had a better record, I would definitely go to the game on Thursday, says Stud City. I would not. I am not spending any money on this franchise for the remainder of the season. Not really, at least. Oreo, at this point, I'd rather see anyone than Justin Fields. He is literally unwatchable. Also upsetting Garrett Wilson for the first time. Went without a catch. You know, it didn't even click to me that was the case, but yeah, it was very bad. I know he had, 3 targets at one point. Pretty terrible. Jets word, Mendoza Simpson at pick 5 and best available wide receiver at pick 32. Yeah, I'm kind of in the camp of I don't really want to trade up. Now, that being said, like if the Jets are sold on Mendoza, let's say the Jets are picking 5th, there's the Titans, there's the Saints, and like the Browns are sitting in front of the Jets. And it would cost the Jets both first this year. Let's call it pick 5, pick 32, and maybe a 2nd round pick next year. If that's the price to go up and get your franchise quarterback, I could live with that. That gives you still your 2nd round pick this year, plus the 2nd round pick you got from Dallas. You would obviously have to give up the Colts 1st round pick from this year if that were the case. I don't know. 3 1st round picks. I don't know if I'm on that bandwagon or anything, but I would like Mendoza or Simpson. So I'm kind of cool with sitting at pick 5 and seeing how it all plays out. Best player available would be interesting, but then you're kind of gambling on what you're going to do with your next. Then you're kind of forcing yourself to definitely trade up. Like, is Glenn going to be here after another bad year to then use those draft picks the following year? Like, does he have that guarantee to be able to do that? Probably not. Realistically, he's going to draft his quarterback. They're going to give him an additional year after that, assuming the rookie looks like relatively good, and then he's going to be able to use that war chest of picks. So I like what Jets Ward's saying here. Honestly, you think AG coaches for Abel, get the hell out of here? No, yeah, I do not think that's the case. I don't think Glenn has done a very good job as head coach so far. Now, I will say this: I do think the team is still fighting for him, and I think that is a large portion of the calculus that goes into this. I think he's made some bad in-game decisions. Hopefully he's just sort of like planning to tank, and that's kind of where we're at as to why things have been going sideways. But I've been less than thrilled with what's gone on with Glenn so far. But hopefully these 2 wins, maybe it's a turning around. Maybe we're going to wind up winning this week. Before the Jets drafted wide receiver, why don't we see who they have on the roster? May not need a wide receiver. I agree, Harlan. So we have 3 guys in Mechie, Arian Smith, and A.D. Mitchell. I would like to see all 3 of them get as many reps as possible. Now, that's kind of why I'm more on the Tyrod Taylor train, because at least if you have Tyrod Taylor back there, you can kind of gauge who these number 2 wide receivers are. All of them are under contract for next year. So even if you were to bring in another quarterback in 2026, you are still going to have an idea of who they are. Would any of these guys prevent you from drafting a top-end wide receiver in the first or second round? Probably not. I don't think so. Like, if one of them balled out, I'm still probably hedging my bets. But it would be nice to know, maybe not to have to spend money in free agency towards wide receiver. I like the moves that Muji has made so far. So I do like what Harlan's saying here. Ty Simpson is the truth. Gets better every week, but I think he goes back unless he wins a national championship. You know, Dom said it before. I said it earlier too. The whole 𝐂𝐟𝐼𝐥𝐢𝐚 injury, going from potentially a top 10 quarterback pick to going back because you want to win a national championship and then just destroying your leg and probably costing yourself millions and millions of dollars. I don't think any player should do the Drew 𝐂𝐟 thing. If you're considered a top 10 pick, I would take the money and run. Stud City, one thing I found out this weekend is that Nussmeier is not an option. I liked Nussmeier coming into the year. I would not take him in the top end of the first round. I don't know where I would feel comfortable taking him. Like, I don't think he's the type of quarterback the Jets should be targeting right now. I think you kind of want your bona fide, like, okay, this is a guy. Now, if you're punting on a season and you wanted to take a dart throw at like 𝐂𝐟𝐼𝐥, I still don't like 𝐂𝐟𝐼𝐥, but you know, mid-round pick, I could understand. Next year's draft class is supposed to be really good. Yeah, I'd rather hold on to all my first-round picks. Like, keep all my first next year. That's what I'm saying. If you can give up your 2 this year, plus a second next year, maybe that's enough to get your quarterback that you really like this year. Wild Wave says, I'm not trading up for anyone in this class. Johnny says, 50% chance of getting the first-round pick right. Okay, quarterback in 26, quarterback in 27, like the Cowboys did, Aikman and Walsh. Yes, you could do that. I don't really want to do that. Tom R., would you either trade up to Tennessee or wait till 2027 to get your quarterback? Sitting tight isn't going to work. It depends how much it costs to get up. Like, the trade that I keep coming back to in my head is both first this year and a second next year. Because I think that beats anything that another team should be able to offer. Unless I'm missing something in here. What do the Browns have 2 firsts? Who else has 2 firsts here? Browns have 2 firsts. So the Browns could give their 2 firsts and they would be better than the Jets' 2 firsts currently. So I don't know. I think that's probably where my mind is as far as moving up. That would be the package of picks I would be like all right with. If you didn't give up the first this year and you want to give up a first next year, so that way you have 2 this year, 2 next year, I could roll with that as well. No reason to waste a pick on pick early on a wide receiver. I disagree. I would absolutely take a wide receiver early. If let's say we don't go quarterback, let's say Mendoza and Simpson are not options for the Jets. Jordan Tyson, honestly, any of the top receivers I would be interested in. And then I would also say Arvell Reese. Based on everything I'm hearing from Dom, if he winds up being an option, it sounds like he's going to go before the Jets. He's probably going to be the top non-quarterback taken. But I'd be down with him. But if it's not a great draft, cornerback Mansour Delaney, I would buy a jersey. That's my last name, so I would not spell it the same way, but that would be pretty funny. No, seriously, if this draft is not seen as good as other drafts, I would be cool with moving some picks to go get the quarterback because I do think it's that important. But receiver, I think, is 100% a huge need for us. With all those draft picks, you take a quarterback and a pass rusher and even a corner. Yeah, I think you got plenty of opportunities to do that. I don't know how high I am on taking corner super early. Like second, third round is probably my comfort zone for corner, just because I feel like after using like high picks on, a high pick on Sauce and then having Darrell for that period of time, I feel like the NFL has really spread out the wealth of wide receiver and targets. It's not like a concrete number one. Like you can kind of eliminate Sauce's impact on a game by just going to the other receivers. So cornerback to me is not as fun. Ace of Spade, Cousins is not mobile. Would he fit with Tanner Engstrand? I mean, Goff isn't crazy mobile. He's more mobile than Cousins, but I would be on board with a Cousins Band-Aid year. Am I the only one who thinks that offensive coordinator strategy is part of Fields' struggle? Why abandon the game plan that worked against the Bengals and Steelers? I have no idea. I don't know why we have not followed suit with what the Steelers' game plan was week 1. I feel like that was the correct way to play this. Do you think the Jets beat New England or Baltimore? I will say up until watching this past week and like the last 2 wins, I thought for sure the Jets would kind of luck themselves into a win. Like we'd beat someone we shouldn't beat, like New England or like Baltimore. I think New England's going to absolutely beat the snot out of us this week, and Baltimore's figuring it out. So I do not think the Jets are getting either one of those wins. Infrared. I like Mendoza, but would not snatch him up. I'd snatch up a quarterback in the later rounds. 2027 has a better draft class. I would address replacing Quinnen with our first pick and trade back the second pick. Interesting. A lot of people interested in shifting stuff around. I just don't know how long you can kind of keep some of these other guys on our team like okay without addressing quarterback. Honestly, this team is a quarterback away. The rest of the team is nice. The offensive line is young and high potential, solid running back in Breece Hall, and that defense isn't bad at all. Yeah, that's why you kind of want to earn that top pick. If you can get Mendoza without needing, or Mendoza or Simpson, I'll say either one, without needing to trade up, and you can keep some of your picks, that would be an absolute home run. I don't think the Jets are that far off either. I think we're still learning how to win, and I think there's a lot of issues on the defense that we just haven't really like addressed yet. But I think a lot of the holes the Jets have are not necessarily prime pick needed. Like you could fill in safety and linebacker and D tackle, interior offensive linemen, all with like mid-round picks and tier 2 free agents. Jeremiah Smith, 2027, please. We're gonna have to be pretty bad to get an opportunity to get him. DraftGeek says trade idea: Kyler Murray, pick number 11, and a 2027 first, and Arizona gets the 5 pick. Ooh, it depends who's there, because if Arizona's coming up to number 5, it's probably because they want a quarterback, and I would prefer to take the quarterback, whether it be Simpson or Mendoza. I do not like Kyler, but man, 4 first-round picks next year and number 11 sounds attractive. That's just a really ugly contract. Fields threw the ball 5 times past the line of scrimmage, and 1 was a pick. My God, I haven't seen anything like it, and I've seen Zach Wilson. That was honestly an incredibly boring game. It was not fun to watch at all. Cousins is not coming to the Jets, and neither is Mendoza. Neither one is mobile. Glenn wants mobile quarterback. That's why they signed Fields. I disagree. I don't think I think every quarterback or every head coach, every offensive coordinator wants a mobile quarterback. I think Mendoza is plenty mobile. I don't know if you saw his running touchdown that he had this weekend, but he's got some wheels on him. Cousins is not super mobile, but I feel like Cousins could be as mobile as like Goff. I think that's fine. I think they signed Fields because Fields was the illusion of trying to swing at quarterback while resetting the deck and having a soft tank. I firmly believe that's the reason Fields was brought in. I think there was some of it was like, oh, we'll get Garrett feeling all right. Maybe he feels like he could play with his former college quarterback. Fans would be interested. We're going to sell some tickets. Like that's more so why I think they went after Fields than the style of play that he has. The Tim says, warming up with Glenn, quietly been fixing a lot of his issues. His in-game stuff has been painful, or was painful earlier on. I think how the Jets were able to win, the way the Browns lost this game yesterday, like on those final two penalties that they had, felt very Jetsy, and the Jets didn't do it. So this is a positive in the right direction. Would you trade a conditional 4th round pick for Tanner McKee? Every time he gets the opportunity, he performs well. Yes, absolutely. No questions asked. I would give a 4th round pick straight up for Tanner McKee. If the Jets can't get one of Mendoza or Simpson, or even if they could, honestly, I would still trade for Tanner McKee. I think McKee is good enough to at least be a bridge quarterback to not force you to start a quarterback. And worst case scenario is just like a long-term backup. I like that. Watch Ty Simpson. Guy has natural talent and anticipates very well. Yeah, I've been watching more and more of him. I am excited. I would take him or Mendoza. Can we let go of Alan Lazard? I would. I don't think there's any reason to play him at all. Harlan, if you start Tyrod, the problem is he gets injured a lot. Want to see them start Cook and see what they have in Cook. I don't think Cook's that good. I do think Tyrod should start so you at least get to see what some of these other wide receiver 2, Mechie, Mitchell, and Arian Smith have. I think there's nothing that you really learn from Fields being quarterback anymore. And then Cook, I'm not a huge fan on. Part of the Peg and Artie, Vrabel has a quarterback, AG don't. That's a big important part. Nussmeier's father works for the Saints. Oh, interesting. I don't think that necessarily means they're drafting him, but maybe they wait till the second. Maybe they go a top non-quarterback. Real 84 says they can make more guaranteed money now staying. It depends if they're a top quarterback. Like, I'd love to know what the NIL deals are. Like, let's see. Dante Moore NIL deal. His valuation is roughly $1.5 million. That is not worth staying in school. Now, maybe that changes. Let's see Arch Manning. $6.8 million, is the richest NIL athlete by a lot. This was as of August 25th, 2025. So that money is not enough to pass up on being a top 10 quarterback. So I disagree with you, Real 84. Glenn is a Sean Payton guy. He is from Sean Payton Coaching Tree. And Parcells. Andrew Yakos, hit the like. Please hit the like. We need wide receiver, quarterback, safety, linebacker. Yes. And I'm on board with those 4 positions at the top part of the draft. Linebacker, I would also expand to edge, depending on if the value's there. Now, maybe they just want to run it back with JJ and Will McDonald for another season. That I could live with as well. We need players stick and pick like the Ravens do unless they trade back into the first for a 5-year contract. I would move from the top of the second back into the first for the right player. Depends how much you have to give up. As we start winning games, we start kind of falling back a little bit more. I was kind of hoping we'd be at that 1 or 2 pick in the second round. Let's see. What does Tankathon have us in the second round? Right now we're pick 36 because of the way things kind of rotate. I was taking Caleb Banks, D lineman from Florida, and Chris Bell from Louisville, wide receiver, at the back end of the first. Wild Wave, I love Arvell Reese. He wouldn't be 21 until August. He does everything. Yeah, I'm on board. Would you be down for drafting Downs this year and then go getting Smith and Sayin next year? I don't want safety at the top of this draft. I just don't. Would I be down with getting someone named Super Saiyan for a quarterback? Yes, 100%. On board. Merch line, baby. Don't trade picks for anyone in this draft. We need more, if anything. Quarterback, receiver, linebacker, safety, hopefully in that order. I like that that 4 picks that you have there. I think that makes sense in that order. Will McJohn and JJ will be starting edges next year also. Yeah, I still think you have to add another body. I think you want to get Clemens out of here. Probably got to add 2 more at some point. Doesn't have to be a crazy spend. Steelers' game plan was abandoned because Fields forgot he actually is allowed to throw the ball downfield. He has been atrocious since that first game. Watch film on Taylene Green. A bit raw, but if he's coached up correctly, he has great potential in the later rounds. I'm a big proponent of drafting a quarterback every year. Don't have to go crazy high for him, but you might hit at some point. Who would you target in free agency? What players? I want to hit a lot of second and third tier free agents. I don't know who's going to shake free. Let's see. Let's see what free agents there are. So let's see. Trey Hendrickson's 32. Just looking at like random names at the top here. There's some void years in there. I'd like to go younger. So whatever that kind of means. I don't think it's a great draft class. Or sorry, not a great draft class. I don't think it's a great free agent class. Alex Anzalone's interesting. Coming from the Lions. What does his valuation look like? Yeah, if he wants to follow Glenn, I'd be down with that. I don't know what he's worth. Broncos, Luke Wattenberg, center is a free agent. Alex Singleton, linebacker from the Broncos. He's 33. He's going to be a free agent. I feel like looking at the Broncos, maybe the Saints and the Lions are probably the teams to keep an eye on. We'll see. Let's see. No other team's quarterback failures. Let them deal with it, and we start fresh. Yeah, I'd rather... My first route's definitely draft a guy. CJ Stroud is one that I would consider, though. I'd be on board with making that move if that happened. Ty Simpson is a guy Sean Payton would draft. Therefore, Glenn is definitely eyeing up Ty Simpson. Yeah, do we know how many times we've sent staff to Alabama games this year? I know it's I think it's 3 games for Mendoza right now is what we've sent down. Why would Kellen Moore tie himself to Garrett Nussmeier? He's been meh. Moore will get fired just because the OC is the father of Nuss. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. Why would any logical thinking guy trade for a 5'9" up and down quarterback that's injured a lot and he's a questionable quarterback? Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not on the Kyler bandwagon. Mendoza reminds me of Allar last year. You're out of your mind. There's no part of Allar that looked as good as Mendoza looks right now. I'm sorry. I know Tony, the GM, is going to be yelling at me in the chat, but I'm not an Allar guy. You can always find a solid D tackle in free agency, much like an offensive guard. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying a lot of our needs are kind of second, third tier free agent or like mid-round draft pick type guys. Like, so you could really go BPA at the top of the draft and load up, quarterback, wide receiver, like just make an elite offense. There are a lot of imbeciles out there. That's why Murray is a thought. Yeah, that sounds about right. Tyrod should have been quarterback 1 in the third quarter yesterday. Fields has 6 yards at halftime. Yeah, I do think Tyrod should be on the field. I just think he's probably going to get hurt, and we're going to go back to Fields anyway. That doesn't mean you don't make the change. I think Tyrod should be out there. I knew Justin Fields was bad. I didn't know he was this bad. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm in that same boat. Ooh, I agree, John D. Overpay Linderbaum a bit to steal him. Myers is terrible. He's the weak link right now. If you could get Linderbaum, I don't know if that's like realistic. I feel like he'd probably want to stay in Baltimore. But man, if he shakes free because they didn't give him his 5th year option, I'd go sniffing around that for sure. What is your opinion on Sellers? I think he's a freak athlete. I think he would be a lot of fun to watch. If the Jets had more success with Fields, I'd have more of an optimistic take on Sellers. My understanding is they're expecting him to go back to school. So I don't know. I can see us trading Will McDonald. Glenn likes his edges like JJ, Aiden, Will Anderson, etc. If Will McDonald keeps balling out like this, I don't think they should trade him. Thoughts on going all in on the run, beefing up O-line, drafting another running back high, or sign a free agent like a Detroit run offense? I'm down to run Wildcat the rest of the year, invest in the running game and offense in general. I don't think I want to take running back super high. I'd like to keep Brees. If the offensive line is top 5, they can do what the Cowboys did with Dak. Dak sucks in the playoffs, though, which is why I want Mendoza and follow the Eagles team-building model. Just add all his Indiana guys around him? Is that what you're kind of looking at? Offensive linemen are expensive in free agency. They're expensive to use the 5th year option on. I'm curious to see if maybe Baltimore franchise tags him. Is the franchise tag the same way, or is that like one offensive lineman tag? I feel like it probably is. So they're probably not going to franchise tag him now that I'm like talking this out loud. Let's see. 5th year option. Where is the franchise tag? Tag and tender projections. Yeah, so it's just an offensive line tag. Yeah, they're not going to franchise tag him. So they got to sign him to a deal. That would be interesting. Linderbaum might be my top guy then. I just don't know if he would choose us openly. People want Mac Jones for whatever reason, but they also forget he is not a free agent. They would need to trade for him. What would be fair compensation? I don't know. Someone would give up more than we should. Ryan, how do you know Hall wants to be a Jet? I don't. I hope he does. And if he doesn't, then I would hit him with the franchise tag and then try to force him to love us next year. If not, and the Jets just let him walk, I'm going to be super pissed that we didn't trade him. They should have, if that was the case and that was the plan. At Alabama right now and watching Simpson is a blast. Would love for him to be our quarterback 1. Yeah, it's one of those, Joe Namath was Alabama. We're going to go get our new Alabama quarterback. Wild Wave. Jets had scouts at both Dante Moore and Mendoza. Hopefully Muji enjoyed the Penn State game because Mendoza was terrible until the last drive. Pretty sure he's playing without his number 1 wide receiver too. I don't know. Dom said he had a quietly good game. Was the thoughts they had. Did our defense somehow get better without Sauce and Quinn, and how? I don't think they necessarily got better. Maybe there's less decisiveness. Like, oh, hey, we're not going to throw out Sauce. We're going to go the other direction. Maybe that's a thing. but I don't think the defense necessarily got better by losing those two guys. But we've also seen this defense, not this particular defense, but, no DJ Reed, no Sauce against the Eagles 2 years ago, and the Jets won. So I don't think you need to necessarily, have Quinnen or Sauce in there. I think Quinnen and his impact will be felt more long-term this year than Sauce's. Everyone get ready to lose Brees. He doesn't want to be here at all. He will leave 100%, so make peace with it unless we pay him $15 million plus a year. Franchise tag him. That's all I'm saying. Franchise tag. Don't let him go. Infrared. Heard Woody raised ticket prices 3.7%. He's an asshole. He is an asshole. I feel bad for season ticket holders that are getting raked over the coals here. I'd be pretty salty if I were them. Linderbaum would be a game changer, but would demand a lot of money. I mean, we got a lot of money to give. I would be okay with Linderbaum as a free agent signing. Linderbaum would be our why and really solidify a tough, nasty O-line, make him an offer he can't refuse. Yeah, you just got to beat the other teams. Ty Simpson is another Mark Sanchez. Doesn't have the experience to be starting quarterback. He needs to stay in college a few years. I will say in the minimal games from Simpson that I've watched versus the minimal games from Sanchez that he had, I do like Simpson more as a quarterback. That said, I did see a very interesting tweet. That was a video clip of Kirk Herbstreit talking about how there's like 25 quarterbacks in the NFL that are considered like franchise guys, or you're not actively looking to get a new quarterback. Out of the 25 guys, I think there were 2 that had less than 25 starts in college, and that was Sam Darnold and C.J. Stroud. And both guys have kind of struggled a little bit early on in their career and have taken some time to sort of feel their own. That's why Mendoza is so appealing. Like, Mendoza to me looks the part. He's got the height, he's got the weight, he's got the arm strength, he's got the decision making. Like, I'm all right with making a move up for Mendoza, within reason. Rich says, I'd be cool with Simpson, but Mendoza is my hope. I also think Dante Moore looks talented. Any thoughts? And no sleeping on Adonai Mitchell, Jets fans. So excited to see what happens with Adonai Mitchell. But I agree. Dante Moore, Mendoza, and Simpson would be my 3. It's just a matter of, it sounds like Dante Moore might be going back to school, is what I've been hearing. Glenn wants a big, nasty linebacker. Who is out there? There's going to be Anzalone from Detroit's going to be a free agent. He's a little bit older, longer in the tooth. You could probably have him for not a whole heck of a lot. I would also be down with drafting one. I know Green Bean's been big on the drafting a snarling linebacker. I could get on board with that too. How about putting a package together to get Lamar Jackson away from Baltimore and then sign Linderbaum, his center, to come here with him? I mean, you're talking giving up at least 3 first-round picks for Lamar. I would do that. I don't think they would. If the Jets draft a receiver with a first or second round in this draft, do you think they could still draft Jeremiah Smith in 2027 with one of the 3 first-rounders? That's who I really want. I think Smith, if he's as hyped as he's being hyped right now, I don't know if the Jets are going to have a crack at him. I would definitely try to take a quarterback and wide receiver in this draft. That's just my preference. And then if you wind up with an opportunity to get Smith, hey, the more the merrier. Why not? Ooh, Jets are on the clock. Who do you go with, Reese or Simpson? Let me see how Reese plays throughout the championship game and playoffs and whatnot. But man, Dom does love Reese. If you're not sold on Simpson, like if the Jets are working out Moore and working out Mendoza a lot and they're not super high on Simpson, then maybe they do go with Reese. And maybe they try to get someone at the back end of the first. I've liked Simpson, though. I think it would be hard. You'd be hard-pressed not to take the quarterback. But that said, we took Zach Wilson when you should have maybe taken Micah Parsons. So maybe this is like a part 2 type conversation here. All right, boys, I'm at the hour and a half mark. Wyatt, I see you calling in, but I'm going to be all wrapped up for tonight. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. If you guys haven't done so already, head down into the description down below. Support the sponsor of the channel, Sleeper. Get a $100 deposit match up to $100 using code JETSTALK. Boys and girls, I'll be back here tomorrow, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, talking Jets with Matt and Greenbean. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think the Jets should be doing moving forward? And as always, go Jets.